So it really was on best-selling shelves in Australia?
Oh yeah, in couple of bookstores, and whenever I
Wow.
ask, "Do you have this?" Whenever I like, "Do you have this?" Yes, of course. And like, yeah.
Oh my God, awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Because I didn't know. Like I know that they put the a guaranteed good read, and I'm like, that
Yeah,
raised the bar
yeah.
high. I'm like, God damn it, I really hope it's a good read. It's like
Yeah.
expectations on the book. But that's pretty cool.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Mizaners. We will start in a couple of seconds. It's 1 minute to 3 p.m. In Western Indonesia time. We're very, 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 very excited to have all of you joining this special day. And yes, so it's 3 p.m. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Mizaners. I hope you have a lovely week as we are in for a powerful Friday. Why is it so powerful? Because the most anticipated pre-order of the Indonesian translations of critically acclaimed, award-winning young adult fiction, As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfa Katuh, start today. And we have the privilege to have a conversations with the author herself in a few moments. Mizaners, all of you who are attending today, joining us from Zoom, joining us from live streaming on YouTube, make yourself comfortable because we are super in for a treat. As long as the lemon trees grows, as we know, was set in war-torn Syria. But, war from Greek mythologies to world wars to conflicts happening in many different parts of the world in modern days cries for artists, women and men of words to tell the authentic stories of people, of heartbreak, of survival, of strength, of resiliency, of vulnerability, but on the one hand, but also of love, of hope, of belonging, of home, and what is really worth fighting for. Zulfa Katuh brought us with care, kindness, deep love of the people of Syria. The story of Salama and Kenan. Both have experienced loss, grief, and heart-wrenching struggle amidst the war, but also full of passion for freedom, for home, with all the nuances that will make you feel every pages. Truly a book that everyone should read indeed. And it is such a privilege for us in Indonesia to have the book in our hand very, very, very soon. And we are honored to have with us this afternoon Zulfa Katuh herself. Hello, Zulfa.
Hi. Hey everyone. Thank you so
Hi.
much for having me. This is
How are?
amazing.
Oh wow, yeah. Please. How are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, I just woke up 2 hours ago, so I am full of energy, but still sleep withdrawal. Yeah, as you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, time difference, my friend. It's still early in the morning. With
Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
oh, 10. Okay, not so early then.
Good. It's
Uh,
okay.
it's okay. It's an okay time. What have you been busy with lately?
Just my thesis. I mean, anyone who follows me on Instagram knows that
Yeah.
I never shut up about it because it's literally the final countdown. So yeah, I'm just really focusing on my thesis and just pray for me because it ends very, very soon. And then I'll go be free from academia, and I don't want to see a book in my life. Well, a scientific book just for a while and then go back to it because it's a lot. But yeah, it's been
Yeah.
thesis, and my second book that I'm writing right now as well. I mean,
Oh,
editing right now. Yeah.
editing. So like final stage as well. Yes.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have a conversations in a couple of minutes, but for our Indonesian readers, we are very excited to have Zulfa's book launch in Indonesia, and we have a special trailer for all Indonesian readers. Mizan host, take it away. Oh my God, goosebumps!
Goosebumps. I mean, I couldn't
Goosebumps!
read it, but goosebumps.
Yeah, so full of feelings. And oh my God, like Indonesian readers, we are going to have Zulfa's book translated into Bahasa Indonesia in our hand very soon. So, Zulfa, tell us a bit about your book.
So As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, it's a YA contemporary novel that follows this young girl. Her name is Salama, and she is trying to find a way out of Syria before her pregnant best friend Dayla gives birth. And because she's been through so much, she's lost her family, she has developed this PTSD that seems a bit too real. And it takes form in this man called Khauf, who is trying to convince her to leave Syria. And so with all of that going on, Salam has kind of lost this spark of life. She can't really see the colors anymore. And that is until she meets Kinan, one of the protesters, who she might have had maybe a history with. We don't know. We will have to read the book to know. And he kind of shows her that life is still worth living. Life can still go on, but she has to make a choice because Layla is pregnant, and her due date is getting closer, and the bombs are getting closer. So she has to choose between her country or safety.
Oh, well, what's her choice? You have to read. Pre-order will open in hopefully in 30 minutes after our conversation. Yay! We're so excited. And we are really, curious about your writing process, about your creative process, because this is such a powerful book. I have with me the Bloomsbury copy, and I can testify its feelings at every page. How's your journey? When did you start to write? How's your journey before this book?
So I lived a huge portion of my life between the UAE and Switzerland, and everyone in the UAE knows about what's going on in Syria. The whole Arab world knows what's going on. And then when I permanently moved to Switzerland, a lot of people, I went to German school to learn German, and in language school, you meet people from all countries. They all get together to learn one language. And so they come with their own opinions and with their own thoughts on the world. And when we would introduce ourselves, they would be interested to know that I'm Canadian and Syrian. And they're like, oh, Syria, like, wow, like what's happening there? Because most of them, I think they were European. And so Europe had taken a lot of the consequences of what happened with Syrian refugees, and they were just like seeing, the result, which are the refugees, and they didn't know why this is happening. And so they would ask me, like, are you a refugee? And there's nothing wrong with being a refugee, but I realized that people don't know why it's happening. Apparently the news has been reporting on it for more than 10 years, but still, even with the news, even with the social media, people still don't know. And it was like a lot of small things that came together. And I was like, you know what, I want to write a story, because what's being reported on social media is like these hard, cold facts. And to get to human emotions, a story is a way to do that. It brings people together, and it just like kind of like humanizes the moment of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I started writing in November of 2017. I finished it in August of 2018. It was like this thing that took over me, that I just had to write the story. It's just, I don't know, it was I can't even explain it. It was like this thing that got a hold on me. And then after August 2018, I went through the long process of trying to find author friends, because in Switzerland, I wasn't surrounded by people who wrote in the same genre as me. They were writing in different genres, and they were writing, for example, also in German. And so I wanted to find other authors who could, we could help each other. We're trying to find like a publishing pathway. And Twitter was the way to go. And so through Twitter, I was able to find my agent. Yeah, it's a very modern publishing story of like, I met my agent like last week, and I've known her since 2019. So I have never met these people, and only recently we've like come together, and we published a book together. So yeah, I found my agent through Twitter. There was like this Twitter contest of tweeting your book within one tweet. And then from that, it began the long journey of editing, finding a mentor, blah, blah, blah. And then in August of 2019, I signed with my agent, and we spent a year and a half editing Lemon Trees. I rewrote it three or four times. I always forget the number, because that time period is like mush in my brain. And then in February of 2021, we sold it to Little Brown in 4 days, and then the following month to Bloomsbury. And then the rest of the foreign rights came on, like 20 languages. And then you guys as well. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, as a reader, I'm very excited about Mizan publishing your Bahasa Indonesia translations as well, like best publishing in Indonesia. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And it felt like a love letter for Syria, with the complexities and the nuances and the rich topics that you were covering in this beautiful book. Why did you choose to write this from Salama's point of view?
I wanted to write something that I kind of know and don't know. Because so like for Salama, I gave her my pharmacy. And so it's a thing in Syria. It's actually like a inside joke, but like 90% of girls study pharmacy, because it is
wow.
It's like I fit the stereotype of also studying pharmacy, because it's a profession where if you don't get married, you can still like work as a pharmacist. And if you do get married, it's a family friendly one. So you can have your own pharmacy and generate income while having a family. So it's a family friendly profession, and you're still called a doctor in Syria. So it's a route that a lot of girls who like the sciences take. So it was interesting writing that into the story. And I wanted to write it from a young girl's point of view, because this is affecting the young generation. Yeah. Obviously it's affecting a lot of generations, but like the young generation are the ones who have grown up in something that they don't really understand, but they don't carry the fear that their grandparents or parents have carried. So it's a very interesting generation to write about and to talk about. So yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, amazing. We're so looking forward. Yes. So looking forward. And I think our Indonesians readers, are you following, guys? Are you following our conversations? I'm sure that you're following our conversations. We don't have much times, but just quick translations, Bahasa Indonesia translations for everybody. Just real quick, Zulfa, if you'll be bear with me, and teman-teman sekalian. Zulfa baru saja menceritakan latar belakang dan perjalanan kreatifnya untuk menulis As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, berasal dari dorongan yang sangat-sangat besar untuk menceritakan dan membawa kisah Syria yang otentik. Dan setelah dituliskan selama kurang lebih 1 tahun, kemudian dimulailah perjalanan untuk menemukan penerbit untuk buku Zulfa tersebut. Dan penerbitnya juga ditemukan melalui Twitter, agensi untuk penerbitnya juga ditemukan melalui Twitter, luar biasa sekali. Saya kira ini juga adalah salah satu harapan buat kita semua ya, untuk nggak pernah menyerah sama mimpi kita, karena ternyata social media juga bisa mempertemukan bukan hanya penulis dan pembaca, tetapi penulis dengan penerbitnya juga. Dan tadi saya bertanya tentang mengapa digunakan point of view-nya Salma, dan Zulfa menyampaikan bahwa Salma dapat mewakili perempuan muda di Syria pada umumnya dengan beberapa hal yang dia lakukan, termasuk profesi di bidang farmasi, dan sangat penting untuk mengangkat suara perempuan muda karena sebagai orang muda pengalamannya mungkin sangat berbeda dari generasi ke generasi yang sudah mengalami apa yang terjadi di Syria. So that's your summary for our Indonesian readers joining. For those of you who are joining via YouTube live stream, you can activate your closed captions. Yeah, it will provide you with rough Bahasa Indonesia translations. Yes, and we are very curious, Zulfa, if I may continue with our conversations. The characters in your book, so beautiful, so, how do you call it, believable. It's like everyone is real and close. And for us in Indonesia, of course, they have different lived experience, but some of the references are very relatable as well for young readers, audience everywhere. Just beautiful characters, Salama, Kinan, Layla, everybody in your book. How do you develop your characters?
It's a very interesting question because it's different for every book. You think if you wrote the first book, you'll be able to write the second, third. No. Every book is like a different child. And as your mom, I'm really, really happy that you guys like the characters. Like this brings me so much joy. So developing the characters, it's really different. So like when I was writing the story, it was a very heavy story. And I needed a break from all the heaviness. So I started writing on the side short stories that don't have to do anything with the book, but like the same characters. For example, I would like look up prompts on Pinterest or on Tumblr, and they'd be like, oh, write your OTP going on a first date or doing blah, blah, blah. And I would write so many. I wrote 130,000 words of short stories to cope with the pain of writing the book because it was very emotionally tolling. So I needed something to counteract that. 130,000 words approximately is 150 pages on Word document. Horrible writing. No one will ever see those stories. They were like, but I appreciate the stories that I wrote because they helped me become a better writer. But like now when I read them, I'm like, ew, like what was I thinking? The stories in their essence are cute, but like my writing was not it. Like, trust me, it was not it. But writing those stories helped me understand the characters more. So like in a certain situation that has nothing to do with the story, for example, Salama would react in a different way. And for some reason that would help me understand how she would react in a certain scene in the book. And for me, that made them feel more well-rounded, more of 3D characters than 2D characters. So developing the characters had a lot to do with writing short stories that had nothing to do with the original plot.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And is it I can imagine like the challenges to come up with such a genuine, such an authentic character with their own voices. Are some of them based on real person?
I try to not do that because then I would write a copy paste of the person themselves.
Yeah.
My mind would not be able to differentiate, but they are the product of reality. They're not a real person, but they are reality.
Yeah.
So I take the stories that happened in the hospital have been reported in the media. Like everything I wrote in the book is not a revelation. This is not news. This
Yeah.
is like, if you research what I wrote, it's there. Like the CNN has talked about it, BBC, all the news channels, Facebook, the people inside Syria were talking about it. So it's just me taking these, like the truth, the hard, cold facts and putting it in a story. So they're not based off real people. They're just based off the reality of the situation.
Wow. Yeah. And because it is based on the reality of the situations, what we heard, and apologies for, repeating what you're saying, what we heard in the news is such a, you know, such heartbreaking events unfolding from Syria. What are the struggles that you are facing in writing this book and keeping the voices authentic?
Mhm. I mean, for me, one of the biggest challenges was my own self,
Yeah.
which is like, am I Syrian enough to write this book?
Mm.
Because
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
live in
Yeah.
Syria. My ancestry is Syrian. I've lived my whole life. I'm Canadian. I've lived in the UAE. I've lived in Switzerland. I've lived in Canada. So it's like I'm a whole mesh of countries, not just one. And so, is it like my right
Mm.
to write
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a challenge. I had to like tell myself, like, no, I am Syrian enough. Like I am. I mean, yes, I haven't lived there, but unfortunately for a lot of Syrians, English is not their first language, as I said in my author's note.
Yeah.
And it is mine. And if I can help by spreading the word with something that I can do, how is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
come from
Yeah.
that culture. It's still my culture. And so
Yeah.
for me I had to overcome that challenge within myself to be able to
Mhm.
start writing.
Yeah.
And because as Muslims, we are exposed to tragedy from a very young age. I
Oh,
mean, we all heard for
yes.
Palestine. We know it's
Yeah.
not something
Yeah.
that's like, ooh, like someone's dead. Like this is sadly our everyday life. We know
Yeah.
this. And
Yeah.
so for
Yeah.
me, I don't have a lot of trigger warnings. So when I was writing it, it wasn't difficult in terms of writing the sad stuff, more than feeling guilty that I am, safe. I'm able
Yeah.
to write this. Other
Yeah.
people are struggling to find lunch, and
Oh.
so that was the difficult part of
Mm.
coming to put these two things together, that
Yeah.
I'm helping, but I feel like
Yeah.
survivor's guilt. Having that survivor's guilt was
Oh.
very, very difficult.
No,
Yeah.
please don't. You are
Oh,
bringing, oh, yeah. I mean, I can totally relate to that feeling as well. But with your story, you bring such an inspirations and revelations and just such a big hope coming from a story about Syria. In addition to writing the short stories, how do you overcome the struggle? And sorry for being redundant. Just
oh no, you're
a
good.
couple of things that if you'd like to add.
I mean, for me, thankfully living in Switzerland, I am surrounded by nature, and that for me is like a place that takes away all my negative energy. I live beside a forest, so I used to walk there a lot. I watched a lot of rom-coms, a lot of comedy shows. It's like you combat the heaviness with something light, and that really helps, like fight it away, you know what I mean? And just like recharge you for your next
Yeah,
battle of
yeah,
writing. But yeah, it was like self-care came the weirdest way. Like for me, when I
yeah.
was writing Lemon Trees, I could not read any book. Like I was in the longest reading slump I have ever been in my life. I didn't read a book for like 2-3 years. I couldn't physically bring myself to read. And when I felt guilty and I wanted to read because, you know, as a writer, you're supposed to read so it can help you write. And yes, for some people that works, but for me, when I was reading, I felt physically ill. I don't know why. It was this weird mental block that I was like, I can't read. Like, I can't even explain it. And it's not like I didn't want to. I wanted to read so bad. There were so many good books out there. My friends were sending amazing books and I could not read. So self-care comes in the weirdest way. And I had to accept that to heal, I just had to go with the flow. Like, okay, we're not reading. Yes, weird.
Right.
Like, why?
Listen to our body type of thing, like listen to our body, listen to our mind.
It's really, I mean, why can't we, like, you know, not like perfume or, you know, not want to eat a certain food? Why does it have to be reading? Like, it was so
and Indonesia, also your readers have a like big similarity with you. We've been reading that you've been listening to BTS as well. We have armies lining up to pre-order as long as the lemon trees grow. Is that one of your coping mechanism of some sort?
Oh my God, when I discovered them, they were like my antidote to all the sadness that I was feeling while editing the book. So yes, they were very big. My brain was like, no, we like them. They're like okay. We watch every BTS and it will help us. And honestly, like amazing for my creativity. Like it was just like their music videos, their lyrics are just like this. It's art inspiring art. And it was amazing.
Yes. So for all armies listening, joining on Zoom and joining on YouTube, there you go. You have something similar to Zulfa. So I'm sure that you are lining up now to pre-order her book. And for our Indonesian audience joining from Zoom, joining from YouTube live stream, a quick translation summary for me again. Zulfa, please bear with us. Teman-teman sekalian, pertanyaan saya tadi tentang bagaimana Zulfa kemudian mengembangkan karakternya, karena karakternya sangat-sangat luar biasa ya, masing-masing karakternya. Kalau teman-teman ingin tahu, segera ikuti pre-ordernya untuk mengetahui karakter-karakter seperti apa yang dikembangkan oleh Zulfa, dan bagaimana Zulfa mengembangkannya. Dia melihat tentang kehidupan masyarakat di Syria. Dia menyampaikan bahwa sebenarnya tidak ada yang sangat baru, semua sudah diceritakan di berita, tetapi berdasarkan konteks ya, artinya berdasarkan konteks yang terjadi di Syria, kemudian tumbuhlah karakter-karakter yang sangat kuat tersebut. Dan bagaimana Zulfa bisa kemudian menuliskan sesuatu yang sangat tragik, sangat heartbreaking, sangat banyak trauma juga yang dihadapi. Ada banyak hal yang dilakukan teman-teman muda, Mizaners muda, saya kira bisa sangat paham ya dengan hal ini. Salah satunya adalah dengan menulis cerita pendek tuh 130.000 kata atau hampir 150 halaman yang ditulis oleh Zulfa selama menulis novel ini. Dan juga beberapa tantangan lain yang dihadapi adalah apa yang disebut Zulfa sebagai survivor's guilt, kenyamanan yang didapatkan di Eropa, hidup di Eropa kemudian membawa Zulfa untuk kadang-kadang mempertanyakan juga, tetapi Zulfa mendapatkan jawabannya bahwa ya tentu saja dia berhak, dan karena dia juga berasal dari kehidupan dan pengalaman sebagai orang Syria untuk menuliskan dan menyuarakan apa yang dirasakan oleh karakter-karakternya yang merupakan perwakilan dari masyarakat Syria. Dan tentu saja ini sangat dekat dengan kehidupan kita di dunia Muslim. Ketika saya bertanya tentang bagaimana Zulfa mengatasi berbagai kesulitan dalam proses penulisannya, ada beberapa hal nih. Dekat dengan alam, kemudian juga menonton beberapa komedi, komedi situasi, serial, dan sebagainya. Dan yang terakhir disampaikan juga mendengarkan BTS. Saya kira teman-teman juga bisa sangat relate ya dengan pengalaman ini, bagaimana selama pandemi juga banyak yang testimoni tuh BTS membantu kita untuk care for ourselves. Yes, Zulfa, we're sorry. I need to go back and forth with yeah. And why did you target like a young reader for this book? Internationally, it is categorized as young adult fiction with a note, I guess. Young adult fictions with a note, because some reviewers mention that it's for 14 years and above due to some of the stories, PTSDs, mental health, war topics. But other than that, it's so heartfelt, so important, so relevant to young readers as well. So why do you target young reader, and what do you expect our young readers to get after reading your book?
My plan was always to write it for young adults. I had one person tell me, I think you should make it adult because it's a lot of, violence inside. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. For me, it was always going to be for young adults. And the fact that it also transcends into adult genre, like adults enjoyed reading it, means so much to me. But my target was always YA because it is the young adults who are going to be inheriting this world. They're going to be the ones who are making decisions in the future. We have seen so many videos of not just Syrian refugees, but like just in general, people who are different being bullied in school, and that leads to suicide, and that leads to just horrible consequences. And that is because these children don't have empathy. They hear whatever they hear at home. If their parents have their own preconceived notions, they pass it on to their children, or they just see someone that doesn't look like them in school, and then that gives them the license to be mean. And that's not the world that we should live in. And stories, books like this, they teach children empathy. And that is the reason that I wrote Lemon Trees. And thankfully, I had the opportunity to visit high schools, and I was able to talk to teenagers, and they were all just they were very interested. And you know how difficult it is to get teenagers to like you. Like I was honored.
Yeah.
I hope they did. But like, from their response, they were like, wow, like this book was amazing. And I'm like, thank you. Like I wrote this for you. And like a lot of them, some of them came up to me. They're like, oh, we have like a friend who's from Pakistan or a friend who's from Syria. Yeah. And now I understand more about what they went through. I had teachers who told me the same thing. And the book had achieved what I wanted it to achieve, which is, reaching the young generation. What was the other question? I forgot.
Oh, yeah. What do you expect your readers to get after reading this book?
Empathy. Yeah. Oh, just making the world a bit smaller.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes. Yes, and plugging it in for every publishers in this world. Also, there is a opportunity there to also, make, I don't know, right? Do you imagine something along the line of teacher's guidebook to like teach this as part of their curriculum?
Yeah. I've had teachers who told me they want to incorporate it into their curriculum.
Yes.
That is something in the works. Yeah.
Oh wow! Yes, absolutely. I'm just guessing because this will be very important. So happy that your publishers are also and also your readers are also on the same board. The same boat. I mean, sorry, on this. Wow, yeah, amazing. Empathy, I guess, yes, very, very important, because we can experience, like we can have different lived experience, but as you mentioned, young people these days are facing the same challenges, especially with regards to mental health and what they are experiencing. But you mentioned a lot of just wonderful, wonderful receptions from around the world. If I may add, you've received several awards as well. Amazon Best Young Adult Books of the Year 2022. It's also on the Book of the Year in the British Books Award 2023, trending everywhere. How do you feel about all of this magnificent achievements?
Extremely surreal, because when I was writing it, I didn't think it would fit any box, and I don't want it to fit any box. I was writing something completely different. I was writing a halal romance, and that wasn't done before at the time, because when I was writing it, Love from A to Z was not out yet, so I didn't have a book
Yeah.
written. You know what I mean? There was no one to take inspiration from, to be like, oh, they broke that barrier. And I'm so grateful for SKLE to have done that. She is an amazing woman and author. And so when I was writing it, I was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know if there will be readers who would like to read about this, or are interested to know about like Syria. Like, oh my God, like, I don't think a lot of people knew where Syria was on the map. And just like me writing a character that is very different to what you see in mainstream media, someone who is proud of who they are, and the main struggles are not like her religion or her parents or blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
yes.
what if this is not going to find a home? And I was very wrong. Like, people, non-Muslims, and even like Muslims have seen themselves in Salama and Kinan and Leila, but also non-Muslims have as well. And for me, that is amazing. The fact that this book transcends language and cultural and religion, like it brings people together, that they found like American girl living, I don't know, in the Midwest, like felt for Salama, and she saw herself in this hijabi Syrian Arab girl. That is amazing. That is like something I never thought would happen.
Oh wow, yes. And yes, I'm very we are very, very happy for you too. And that's again one of the reasons. It's so authentic, it's so relatable. That Mizan decide, obviously we have to have this amazing book translated into Bahasa Indonesia, and for our Indonesian readers to also just be part of this global sensations. I don't know if you like that word. Salama is a global sensation now.
I mean, she does deserve it.
Yeah. Yes, and speaking of relatability across languages, across culture, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I read in your Bloomsbury copy. Not going to mention the page as well. It's 2-page. When I open it, you just smoothly transfer from referencing Hayao Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli, popular culture, to referencing something that is deeply rooted in the history and culture of Syrians, of how people understand entire family history just by knowing their last name. It's so beautiful. How do you want your reader, including in Indonesia, to see your characters, to see the people of Syria, to see Syria? How do you want your story to be listened? So it's not only about the voices of your characters, but how do you want them to be listened to?
I want them to see them more than their pain. That's always been my message. I mean, yes, they're going through a hardship, a difficulty, but I don't want Syrians and Syria to be reduced to this moment in time of pain. They are way more than that. And it really just, if one does that, then you just ignore the entirety of 99% of their humanity, of their ambitions and dreams. The circumstance that they're in, it's just a passing situation, inshallah. It's not permanent, hopefully. It is just a part that they're going through. But if you don't, like, seeing them as more than their pain makes you realize that this could also happen to you, like God forbid it happens to us. You know what I mean? Like this is just by pure luck that this is happening to them and not to us. The world will keep spinning and history repeats itself. And maybe one day we will find ourselves, hopefully not, in a situation similar. And we would want someone to see us more than our pain. And we will want someone to help us. And so just seeing them as human beings, as people with their own ambitions and dreams and history. And Syria has so much to offer in terms of that is what I want readers to get from that book. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And on that note, again, a quick translation. Teman-teman sekalian, ketika kita berbicara soal, tadi baru saja berdiskusi tentang bagaimana Zulfa secara spesifik menyasar audience atau pembaca muda ya, audience muda atau readers muda. Mengapa demikian? Karena bagaimanapun juga kita semua, terutama teman-teman muda di seluruh dunia, bertarung dengan perang yang berbeda, tetapi sebagiannya berdampak cukup sama gitu ya, cukup sama. Ada yang tentu saja hidup di tengah perang dan konflik, tetapi juga ada yang menghadapi dampak kesehatan mental yang luar biasa karena bullying dan sebagainya. Dan Salma Salama dan juga Zulfa ingin memastikan bahwa buku ini kemudian mengajarkan kita semua, terutama teman-teman muda, untuk memiliki empati. Empati adalah satu kata yang ditekankan beberapa kali oleh Zulfa. Young people, teenagers di banyak tempat memiliki pengalaman yang kurang lebih sama dalam konteks yang berbeda-beda. Kemudian ini disasar untuk teman-teman muda dan mendapatkan respon yang sangat luar biasa di seluruh dunia juga. Teman-teman Zulfa juga sudah sempat berkunjung ke beberapa sekolah dan mereka menyambut sangat-sangat baik dan sangat-sangat menyukai buku ini. Sebagiannya ada halal romance di dalam buku tersebut dan Zulfa adalah salah satu yang pertama menuliskan tentang cerita ini juga dari perspektif Syria. Dan ketika saya bertanya tentang bagaimana Zulfa ingin membuat masyarakat Syria dilihat oleh dunia melalui cerita ini, Zulfa menyampaikan bahwa saya ingin masyarakat Syria dilihat sebagai lebih dari kesedihan mereka, lebih dari kondisi mereka yang berada di tengah peperangan, karena itu hanya sebagian kecil dan insya Allah itu semua akan berlalu. Tetapi yang paling penting adalah untuk kita melihat kemanusiaan, karena 99% Zulfa menyampaikan dari apa yang ada di Syria adalah kemanusiaan masyarakatnya, sehingga kita kemudian bisa membangun solidaritas. Yes, Zulfa, apologies for this. I hope this doesn't make you uncomfortable. And it's 20 minutes to 4 p.m. in Indonesia, and we cannot wait for our countdown for pre-order, which is starting today, May 12th. We are so excited we're so excited, and we are going to allow Mizan host to kick off the pre-order. So it's official. We are launching As Long as Lemon Trees Grows. Mizan team, you can probably show the amazing Indonesian cover. I've heard that it's been more than 300 copies sold in one of
Wow.
our marketplace in Indonesia. So we are very, very excited about welcoming As Long as the Lemon Trees Grows into our space here in Indonesia. Very, very excited. Still on pre-order. You have to wait for a couple more days to have the books on your hand, but we are very excited to just deliver them to you. And Zulfa, we have very excited readers as well. It's time for us to take Q&As, and I already have several questions lining up, if I may read
Yes.
to you. Yes. Oh, wow. It's the first question is from Una Una.
Oh, hi, Una.
Hi,
Now you heard.
Una.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us something good or happy about the lemon trees, please, because we love them so much.
Oh my God. I know I wrote 130,000 words, but like everything is blanking in my head right now. But
Oh,
I did write one story where, oh my God. Can we get back to that question? We will get back to that question, I promise. But like
yes.
I'm totally blanking right now. I have to like do a quick search. I am so sorry,
Okay.
Una. Totally
Uh,
blanking.
yeah, we'll get back to you, Una. Next question is from Sophia. Did you ever imagine before that your book will receive positive feedback from people around the world?
I really did not. I was anticipating, people always tell you about like,
Yeah.
other authors tell you about like, get ready for negative reviews, which is totally normal. I mean, not every book is every person's cup of tea. So I was ready for that. Because like, as I said, I didn't think it would find, its home with people. Like some people would be like, oh, this is a bit too much for me, blah, 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 all that stuff. But the response has been absolutely amazing, absolutely heartwarming. I mean, people have loved this book so much, and it has been a surprise, really. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes, yes. So that's for you, Sophia. Next question from Lola Ozil, which I guess require you to remember the content of your book by heart as well. Was there a particular scene or chapter in this book that was most difficult to write?
Yes, there was actually. I mean, there was a scene, the scene that happens. Okay, I can't even spoil a lot of stuff, but like there was this certain scene that happens at the hospital towards the end of the book. If people, I mean, I think people would know which one I'm talking about. That one was very difficult to write. Like even when I was editing it, my editors would have like comments on a certain scene that happened in that book where something was happening to Salama, and and the comments were like they were like telling me what to do, and I was like, I can't edit this part because it hurts so much and it makes me so like angry. Like I'm writing. And I'm being kind of helpless, and I was upset that I couldn't, you know what I mean? Like it was I felt helpless as an author, that I can't help my character, but it's also realistic.
Wow.
It hurt. Like editing that part hurt so much. And I would just do this, like just like not looking at it because like it was very bad. And but like that scene, if you know which one I'm talking about, did not really change that much from my first draft. Because I don't want to edit it that much. That was like one of my most difficult parts. Yeah.
Want to know what's happened in that scene? Yeah, your pre-order. I'm doing. Oh my gosh, I feel like, okay, promotion. Yes, you would like to know what happened in that scene or in that particular chapter. Go to bit.ly/get lemon trees and book your book. Get your pre-order the book from Mizan. We also have several questions from your readers
We can get back to Una's
joining.
question.
Oh yeah,
We can get
Una's.
back to Una's
Yes,
question.
yes.
Yeah.
Let's go back to
So
Una's.
what I want to do as well is write like extra stories that hopefully I will be able to publish also soon. But I really wanted to write a story for Salam and Kinan where they go to Japan to the
Oh,
to the Studio Ghibli amusement park, and it would be like this very cute, like small fluff short story where she, for example, loses her wedding ring or something, and then she starts like looking for it everywhere, and he doesn't know. And she had spent like some of the day upset, and then it ends up like somewhere, but like he doesn't know, and she has to like try to like convince him that everything's fine.
yeah.
And it's yeah, I really want to do like these very cute shenanigans of not
Oh,
like,
wow.
you know, life or death situation, but more like, you know, cute stuff that they deserve.
Yes. Yes.
And I really want to write them, like, for example, in amusement parks, and just like Kinan, for example, being a dad, because he has such a like a dad energy with his siblings,
Oh,
and he's like
wow.
a top dad as well. It'd be really, really cute to see them like through the years kind of way.
Oh, amazing. Are we seeing series coming?
I mean, listen, for me, my characters
Yay!
always exist outside the book.
Yeah.
So like there would always be short stories here and
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I don't know how much is enough. Like I don't like I get paranoid, and I'm like, I think readers are gonna be like, we get it. They're happy, like
Yes.
enough. Like we don't want any more stories. So I don't
Oh, we
know
do.
when.
We
Oh,
do.
thank you for for validating me. But like as long as I live and breathe, there will always be like cute like little reminders that they're doing well. Don't worry, because like as a reader, I know
Yeah.
what it feels like to like for the story
Yeah.
to end. And you're like, I want more. Like I want to make sure everything is okay, no
Yes.
matter how much it takes. Like yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes, yes. So Una, some feel-good stories coming because the characters deserve it. And in a more serious note, it's 99% humanities. It's Syrians are more than pain. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Says yes. And thank you for asking about the feel-good stories or moment, Una. Yes, Zulfa, we have several more questions from our readers joining on YouTube. Rahmat Permana, who are the, do you have writers that inspires you to write this novel?
Not more writers,
Yeah.
but like people in general. Like for
Yeah.
example, Hayao Miyazaki really inspired me to write Lemon Trees with the way, because I really wanted it to feel like a Studio Ghibli book. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
he just like inspires that feeling. Like he's got that magic thing in his stories, and I
Yeah.
really wanted to put that in Lemon Trees as well. I want to put that in all my books. Like I want my books to exist in a kind of like a very feel good, showing the reality, but also like makes you romanticize the mundane, or just like be happy in the moment.
Yes.
You know, things like that. Ruta Sepetys, the author of Salt to the Sea and Between Shades of Grey, really inspired me to write Lemon Trees because I adored Salt to the Sea. This is my recommendation for people to read Salt to the Sea. Is if it's like this big, and it's amazing, and it takes place in World War II, and I was just blown away by how she was able to tell a story that happened in World War II that a lot of people don't really know about.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely amazing. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to do what Ruta did, and she read Lemon Trees, which made me so happy.
Yes.
And also, and like for me as well, because I will never shut up about this, but also Suzanne Collins has Lemon Trees, the author of The Hunger Games. I was just like blown away because she is like my favorite. I like Katniss and Peeta really, really inspired Salam and Kinan so much.
Oh,
And so
wow.
for
Yeah.
me, like, yeah, I love her.
So there you have it. We have Ghibli fans lining up. We have War Stories fan lining up. We have Hunger Games fan lining up. Everybody line up to book your pre-order. Yes.
Suzanne Collins has it. You probably should have it as well.
Oh,
Just
yes.
kidding.
Yeah. Yes. And do you have a plan from Desi Indrawati? Do you have a plan to publish more books about Syria? And what will it be about? A sneak peek of your second project, perhaps?
Very good
Yeah.
question. Yeah. So like in my contemporary, I really would like to write more Syrian characters, but not necessarily about the Syrian revolution or the Syrian war, because then it becomes just pain. Like, yes, they are more than their pain, but then you're
Yes.
also just showing the pain. You know what I mean? I want to write like also Syrian celebration. My second book is about Syrian pain. It takes place, a part of it takes place about what happened in Syria. The love interest goes through probably more than what Salam and Kinan went through. He went through a lot. Like, I feel so bad for my boy. I put him in so much pain. So that's going to be my second book. And it's also like both characters are Syrian, and he's really soft, but he's been through a lot, like a lot. I feel so yeah, I know. You guys really need to love him, because like he's love starved. So yeah, I talk about the other side of what happens when you become a refugee. People expect to be like, oh, it's fine. Yes, it's about Yahya and Haneen. And it talks about like what happens when you become a refugee, and the sad, like the journey is still not over. You know, you still have a lot to overcome. So yeah, I really hope that you like Yahya and Haneen, my second characters in the book.
There you go. A reveal
like
of the name of the character. Yeah.
But my next books, hopefully also Syrian characters, but like not about Syrian pain, but more like just drama, like Syrian drama. When I talk about the Syrian drama, it's going to be very funny. Mother-in-laws and aunties, but like you guys would know it too, because like we all have more or less the same culture when it comes to like gossip and tea. So that would be like very fun to write. Yeah.
Oh, fun. I'm very much looking forward to the aunties. Aunties. Yeah, nudging you to get married every other day kind of story. Yeah, fun. Oh my God. And following up. So Desi Indrawati, more books are coming from Zulfa, and now Mizan is lining up for to publish your second book as well in Bahasa Indonesia. Yay! Yes, and speaking of the aunties, uncle type of stories, the more feel-good stories, do you plan to publish that 150 pages that you wrote when you wrote As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow?
If I rewrite it, I would. But like, trust me, I'm not being like, oh, it's bad, trying to like fish for compliments. It wasn't good. Like, my grammar was horrendous. I was cheesy. I was like, no one's gonna love these characters.
We love cheesy, please.
When it's just cheesy combined with a lot of good things, then yes, I'm with you. But honestly, it's not good. But because I've written a short story that will be published in the Bloomsbury paperback.
Oh wow! Yes,
that was part of the 150,000 words. Like, that was one of the stories that I had written, and that one had potential. So I took it out. I rewrote it again. I made it better, and now Bloomsbury is publishing it. So yes, the book, like the stories that are in that, will not be forever confined to Word. I just have to like rewrite them, make it better, and then they have to go through a process before they're like ready for public consumption. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. So we're waiting for that as well. As Zulfa mentioned, a couple of the story from the 150 pages are already in the process with Bloomsbury as well. And so, yes, very excited to wait for that as well. One final questions, I guess everybody would like to know, who is your favorite character from the book?
Oh,
I know it's hard. It's like your favorite child, or
Yeah. I know people will expect me to say like one of the three mains, but I will say it was Khauf, because he was very interesting to write, because he developed so much throughout the different versions. Like, in the beginning, he was, sadly, because we are so confined with word count, I was not able to go into him as much as I wanted. But like in the beginning, he was actually showing Salama Syria throughout the ages. Like, he would take her back in time. I made it kind of like a time travel thing in her dreams. And he was more real than a hallucination in the earlier draft. And so parts of him still exist in this current draft. And so it was just the way he interacted with her, this protectiveness that he has for her, and like still being mean. Because like I've had people who are like, oh, I hate him or I love him. And I like that divide in readers. Because like everyone loves Salam and Kinan. People love Layla. Like if you don't like Layla, I mean, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Like Layla is beautiful. Like she's amazing. So Khalaf is the one who's like divides people. And this is why I like him a lot.
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for all of you who have participated. We have Una, Sophia, Lola, Rahmat, Desi, Esti, who's asking for the short stories coming soon, and Sarah, who's asking about the favorite characters. Thank you everyone for participating. We are at the final minute of our conversations, unfortunately. Do you have more time? Yeah. Yes. I think we really would like to hear from you as closing statement. Two things. What do you expect from the readers in Indonesia, especially after reading your book? And number two, message from the Lemon Trees family all over the world, especially Indonesian, who will be again lining up. I use a lot of lining up, like who will be lining up to be the next part of the big Lemon Trees family.
I hope that you find yourselves in Salama and Kinan and Layla. I hope it brings you comfort. That's what I want from the book. I've had people who went through hardships while they were reading the book, like personal hardships, and they're like, this book brought me comfort. I'm like, what? Like this was not what? Like that is so amazingly strange, because like it's a book about there's sadness in it and it brought them comfort. And I'm like, that was not an intended outcome of this book. So thank you. I didn't even think like, I was like, oh, if they're going through a personal hardship, they won't be able to read the book. Totally understandable. They don't want to read about sadness while going through something sad in their life. But still, they were like, it made me feel less alone. And I'm like, oh my God,
yes,
I wanted to cry. And so for me, it gave them strength. So if you find strength in Salama and Kinan, or in any of my characters, even in Khauf, if you find strength in him, girl, go for it. Like that is your power. Like I love that for you. So I really want that to be like, don't think of, oh, this is a character that is totally different than me. We don't share the same experiences. That doesn't matter. If you feel yourself seen in this character, then this character was meant for you. If this story brings you comfort, then it's for you. That's how it is. And for all the people who are going to be joining the Lemon Trees family, thank you and welcome to our family. We cry a lot, but we are also very happy.
We cry a lot. We're also very happy. We are strong. We are very, very, very much looking forward for our Indonesian readers to also find strength in Salamas and all the characters, to also find comforts, find consolations, finding that you are feeling less alone with Salamas and the characters. I'm sure that you cannot wait to have the books on your hand. I'm plugging in another promotion, bit.ly/get lemon trees for your pre-order. We thank you so much, Zulfa. I wish I can have my copy signed. Oh, yes. Oh, the pre-order though, will have a printed sign. Yes. So again, grab your copy fast. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, readers. Biggest thank you, Zulfa.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for bringing as long as the lemon trees grows to us.
Such a gift.
Such a gift, mashallah. Such a gift. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.